Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word and truth and its sincerity. Uh, the hopeful elect, Tabernacle of David. To the Akwaf that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest. 144,000, the 1/3, the hopeful elect of Israel as a whole. I saw this guy, right? And he had a little what they call a stream of consciousness type moment where he's just bringing out, everything that is going on. And I mean, there's nothing about this guy except for all you have is mainstream media. And sometimes you watch that just so that you can see what they're pushing and then what they're not pushing on internet, if you will. Okay. This is an internet news channel. Okay. And he is pretty informative. Not that everything he says is golden or whatever, but when you're looking for information and you're spitting out the seeds, if you will, right? Uh, this is a good channel to watch. All right. Anyway, let's get Habakkuk, and I'm gonna try to keep it short. We're just, trying to stay up to date with this information. Anyway, so Habakkuk 2:2 in the Berean Standard Bible reads, "Then the Lord answered me, write down this vision and clearly inscribe it on tablets so that a herald," who is a herald? The prophets. Somebody who's going to, warn them, announce it, blow the trumpet, a herald. Hark the herald angels sing, right? So that a herald may run with it. And that's what we're doing, we're running with it. All right? It clearly inscribed on tablets is talk about these scriptures, the Bible. For the vision awaits an appointed time. The vision, okay? It says, write down this vision. Here it is again. This vision awaits an appointed time. Guess what? The appointed time is now. It testifies of the end. What is the end? Esau. And does not lie. Though it lingers, wait for it, since it will surely come and will not delay. Okay? Look at the proud one, his soul. Who's that? The end. All right. Who is the end? The proud one. Let's prove that, and then we'll go to Nate. It says, look at the proud one, his soul is not upright. That's Esau. Esau, the end. Right? But the righteous will live by faith. Okay? Let's get the end real quick. It's in 2 Ezra 6. I say, who is the end, not what is the end. The end is a who. Okay? And I'm going to show you squarely who the end is. Let's start at 9. Just read it. I'm going to get straight to the point. For Esau is what? The end. Stop. Of the world, yeah. But what is he? The end. He's the end of the world. But he's the end. All right, so now let's go back to Habakkuk. What does it say about the end? It testifies. The vision, right, testifies of Esau. What about Esau? Well, his kingdom has fallen. Okay. Though it lingers, wait for it, since it will surely, what will surely come? The end. The end of what? Of the world. Whose world? Esau's world. Esau's the end of the world. His world. Our world begins right after this fall. Got it? Got it. Now we go to Nate. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to let Nate talk, and we're going to stop. When he says something pertinent, we're going to stop, and we're going to bring that part of the vision out. Okay? Take it away. Wait, this is 10 hours. So what he's going to say at the beginning is, he made a video about guns yesterday. I'm like, what did Nate? Nate didn't make a video. Oh, yeah, he did. He talked about guns and got to have a shotgun. You got to have a long gun. You got to have a pistol. So he went into all of that and didn't say shit. And then 12 o'clock when everybody was asleep, I'm talking about a Pacific, right? 12 Pacific, right? He made a video and snuck it up there, right? The doom and gloom video. 10 hours ago. What time is it right now? 10:36. When did he make this video? 11:30 last night. Whatever. Okay? Or 12:30. 12:30 a.m. it looks like. All right? He snuck it up. Now watch what he says about sneaking the video up. Take it away. Okay, it says emergency update. U.S. government warning, Israel nuclear submarines, Iran primes ballistic. None of that sounds good. All of this is in the scriptures. Many chariots, right? In the water. G.I. Joe in the water. Here we go.
Okay, so this is a quick emergency late night update for you today. If you're watching this in the morning, I assure you it's still going to be relevant. I know.
You hear that? So time is relevant. It awaits for an appointed time, right? Well, the appointed time is now. We're watching the end of Esau's world come into focus, right? You got to be patient as it comes. And what are we doing? We're running with it. We're telling you about it, okay? And we're, as time moves forward, it's going to be quicker and quicker without delay. Right? Take it away.
The news cycle is moving, but I assure you there's going to be some points that I mentioned in here that are going to have staying power. Now, we have a very volatile week ahead. We're talking riots, volatility in the markets, and wars, of course.
Riots, volatility in the market, going into what? CBDC, MOTB. Okay? It's speaking. At the end, it shall speak. Right? The end is speaking loud and clear. Esau's end. Your world is falling apart. You think you got a plan where you're going to fool everybody, but guess what? You're being fooled because wisdom is too high for a fool.
I've had some time to finally process this statement from Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin on steps to increase force posture, just released about 24 hours ago, where they indicate that they're going to be increasing troops in the Middle East.
What does that mean? Increasing troops. That's easy. That belongs in the World War III daily update. This is Joel 3 and 9. Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. What did he just say? See, we could do this. We could let him speak a couple of lines and go get a scripture.
In combat readiness for troops on stand.
Get ready for war. Combat readiness. Troops on stand.
As well as deploying THAAD anti-ballistic missile defense systems, Patriot missile
missiles. It's all right there. Hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks. Missile. That's a missile right there. Hammer your plowshares into swords. The fiery flying serpent. Fiery flying sword. What is that? It's a missile. And your pruning hooks into spears. Weapons of war. Okay? Right. He could say 3 words, we could grab a scripture.
These more Iron Dome systems and more war.
Iron Dome. What is Iron Dome? Go to Joel 2. See, we could do this all day. Oh, were you just making shit up? No. This is in the NLT. What does this say? Let's get Iron. What is an Iron Dome? It's a missile shield, right? Well, I'm gonna show you the missile shield. This is talking about the missiles. Fire ahead of them is paradise, right? Behind them, nothing but desolation. That's what happens when a missile comes in. All right. Now, this is the missile shield. Okay. Let's start from 7. The attackers, the missiles, march like warriors, and scale city walls like soldiers. Could even be drones, right? Straight forward they march, never breaking rank. Now here's the missile shield. They never jostle each other. Each moves in exactly the right position. Right here. They break through defenses. That's the missile shield, but it doesn't work. What is a missile shield? It's a defensive missile that hits the incoming missile. They break through defenses without missing a step. Okay? What do you mean break through defenses? Let's look at that. Let's see if we can hone in on the Iron Dome part of it. They do not jostle each other. Each marches straight ahead. They plunge through defenses without breaking ranks. They never jostle each other. Each moves exactly in the right position. They break through defenses. Let's see. They burst through the weapons. What? What do you mean they burst through the weapons? This is the weapon. They do not jostle one another, right? Each marches in his path. That's the missile. They burst through the weapons. What weapons? The countermeasure. And are not halted. So the countermeasure isn't going to work in that day. This is what that's saying. Okay? They burst through the defenses. Okay? It says, they walk everyone in his path. When they fall upon the sword, that's the defense. They shall not be wounded. This is the sword. This is another sword. Missile defense. See that? It got specific when it said the sword. Right? That sword is a missile. In this case, it's missile what? Defense. They burst through the missile defenses or the sword defenses, right? So the Iron Dome isn't going to work in that day. They are not cut down. What is not cut down? The nuclear missile, right? They lunge between the weapons. That's the counter missile. They are not cut down. The missile system didn't work. When they burst through the defenses, see? See that? When they fall against the defending weapons, right? See that? Very specific. Back that up a little and let him speak of Iron Dome again.
Yes, for troops on standby, as well as deploying THAAD anti-ballistic missile defense systems, Patriot missile batteries, more Iron Dome systems, and more warships in the region.
That are not going to work on the day of the Lord. Get it?
They're preparing to go to war with Iraq.
They're what? Preparing what? Go back. They're doing what? Select it. Just go to 3. Where were we? Bear with me. Where were we? He said they're preparing what? Proclaim this among the nations. They're preparing war. He used these words. Prepare war. Prepare for war. Prepare war. Okay, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. What did he just say? We could pick apart his every word.
Ships in the region, they're preparing to go to war with Iran. Now, interestingly, they state that in the first sentence. They say, following detailed discussions with President Biden on recent escalations by Iran and its proxy forces across the Middle Eastern region today, I directed a series of additional steps to strengthen the DoD posture in that region. These,
when it comes to your
Slovakia. And I'm being very nitpicky. We could break his words down all the way to the core.
affordable, Nutrient Survival specializes in
these steps will bolster regional defense efforts, increase force protection for U.S. sources in the region, and assist in the defense of Israel. Now, this is not about Israel. It's not about Palestine. It's not about Gaza. Unfortunately, as much as I'm a humanitarian, and as much as I'm sure many of the people protesting around the world genuinely care about the plight of the Gazan people and the people in the West Bank, unfortunately, the powers on all sides don't. This is just something that's politically instrumental for their own ends. What they do care about is Iran. That's why they say in the first sentence they mention Iran. Remember 9/11. How did we get into the war with Iraq? Well, it was piggybacked. It was a Trojan horse kind of inserted with that whole Afghanistan thing. Weapons of mass destruction. They capitalized on people's anti-Islamic sentiment at the time and fear of terror and all this stuff. And they seized on that opportunity, and that's exactly what they're going to do now. They've realized that, hey, this is our opportunity, even though there is no intelligence, as far as we know, from the U.S. government or any other government that's implicating Iran in the Hamas terrorist attacks, as far as we know. There may come out that there is some loose affiliation or alignment, but as far as I know, and it's a very complicated situation between all of these proxy groups that militias that Iran runs, Hamas in many ways is viewed as an apostate by other groups that Iran is also associated with, okay? And then they have the common enemy of ISIS, of course. So this complicates the situation, but it shows you that the real enemy here is Iraq. Now, Israel has made some very, very stern threats to Iran in the last 24 hours, and you should know that the Iranian Guard Aerospace Force has put the Ballistic Missile Command on high alert. According to Iranian sources, the Iranian Guard Force is set to conduct a major ballistic exercise near Qom.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about missiles. Okay? This guy in classic Mel Blanc, not Mel Blanc, but Warner Brothers, at the end of Bugs Bunny, you see this. Right? At the end of a Bugs Bunny cartoon, looks pretty much like that. Okay? Doesn't it? Now, what does that say? Who is the end? We went over it. This guy. Right? For Esau is what? The end. Back. He got Esau on his shirt. That's the spirit.
Photos and videos showing Iran moving dozens of ballistic missiles to launch sites. We've been seeing that all week. So I guess we're just going to see how that plays out. But we know Israel has also sent some of its nuclear submarines to sea. It's hypothetical nuclear submarines. And they've also made numerous direct threats to the Iranians and Hezbollah that have...
This is tomorrow's video, but direct what? Threats? That's easy. Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 6, right? You will hear of wars and rumors of war, right? Well, what does this say? You will hear of wars and direct threats. Rumors, threats, reports, and news, right? Threats, rumors, news. Where's my reports? So it's all happening right here. Okay. It is going to happen that you are going to hear battles and reports of wars. What is Nate doing right now? He's given the report. Did he say threat?
Ballistic exercise near Guam. Photos and videos showing Iran moving dozens of ballistic missiles to launch sites. We've been seeing that all week. So I guess we're just going to see how that plays out. But we know Israel has also sent some of its nuclear submarines to sea. It's hypothetical nuclear submarines. And they've also made numerous direct threats to the Iranians and Hezbollah that if Hezbollah gets into the war, they're going to wipe them off the map. We know that there is a concentration of NATO forces on the island of Cyprus. And you got Russian planes flying around there, reconnaissance planes. You got Turkey's interests in there. You got Russian interests. So this is a powder keg, to say the least. Plus, you got, what, a dozen or so different loosely affiliated groups that are fighting on behalf of the Iranian mullahs, all right? So we know that the end game here is to get into position. Remember, the Iraq war didn't just happen immediately after September 11th. It took a little bit of time to get the wheels turning on.
Now he says, what's going on? The troops are being gathered. Who's doing it?
To say the least. Plus, you got, what, a dozen or so different loosely affiliated groups that are fighting on behalf of the Iranian mullahs, all right? So we know that the end game here is to get into position. Remember,
to get into position. Who's getting them into position? And the position of what? And to the position of an ambush.
the Iraq war didn't just happen immediately after September 11th. It took a little bit of time to get the wheels turning on things, to put things into place. They're concerned that these missile launches from Yemen are going to continue towards Israel. Some
What launches? This is missile time.
people are saying they weren't directed towards Israel. We're just going to have to assume they were. And the problem is that they have a limited amount of resources there. Okay, they're surrounded by a country, Iran, who has thousands of missiles, if not tens of thousands of missiles. So if they wanted to, they could
Let the weak say I am strong.
raid all hell and easily overwhelm a lot of these missile defense systems. And
Did you hear that? Easily overwhelm. We were just talking about missile defense.
Israel, some people are saying they weren't directed towards Israel. We're just going to have to assume they were. And the problem is that they have a limited amount of resources there. Okay, they're surrounded by a country, Iran, who has thousands of missiles, if not tens of thousands of missiles. So if they wanted to, they could raid all hell and easily overwhelm a lot of these missile defense systems. And
We could go through, what is this, 20 minutes? We're going to end it. All right. We don't have to pick apart his every word, but we could.
course, we have the potential for Israel to get involved directly with Iran, which is what they threatened. Here's what Israel's economic minister, Nir Burkat, the threat that he issued.
The threat that he issued.
He announced that
All right. We'll just end it right there. So go watch Nate, right? He's saying some good stuff. He's bringing you up to date. He's giving a good report. All right. But, yeah. We're at the end of this thing. Let's get Joel real quick again. Let's get to, because what's going on? Who's gathering them? Why? The Most High God is. Joel 3 and 2, I will gather the armies of the world, right? All of them. Into the Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right? Why? There will I judge them. This is God talking. He's going to destroy them. What do you mean judge them? I'm going to destroy, I'm going to put them on trial, right? I'm going to put them on trial, and then I'm going to pass judgment on them. right? What's the punishment? Right? I will enter into judgment. I will plead. These are all courtroom. Enter into judgment. This is all courtroom, right? Plead your case. Enter into judgment. Execute. What's the punishment? Execution. Right? Judge. Judge. Plead with them. Bring charges against. All right? Basically, I'm gonna round them all up in an ambush, and then I'm gonna release the water. I'm gonna get them in the middle of the Red Sea. And when my people have cleared the AO, I'm gonna release the water on them. Boom. It's an ambush, all right? So anyway, we'll end it right there. We're watching it go down. Nate's telling you all about it. I would go back, but I don't want to go through this. So we'll end it right there. With that, we hope that the elect were edified. Get ready, right? Get yourself ready for the worst time ever since the world was created, pursuant to Matthew 24 and 21. All right, with that, we hope the elect were edified, you brothers and sisters. Shalom.